That's when somebody tried to rob him and killed the dude. What the hell my 19-year-old cousin gonna try to rob and kill somebody? Bro, we getting money, man. We getting money. That ain't our stilo.
Everybody know me, bro. That ain't my stilo, bro. You know what I'm saying? That ain't how I get down, bro. Like, that ain't how none of my people get down.
Boosie is catching all the smoke right now.
The
streets have turned on him after word spread that he was the one who ordered the hit on Duke the Jeweler. The same neighborhoods he once repped are now shutting him out. He's already been jumped once.
And Duke the Jeweler died playing one of their loaded dice games.
People say
just facts that don't line up. We have to talk about how it all went down.
Duke basically were looking for the Jeweler. He died the exact same way Takeoff did caught up in one of their shady, rigged
So now
dice
everyone's asking,
games.
did Boozy sacrifice Duke? Duke the Jeweler had been at a dice game all night, playing side by side with guys he thought were his friends, who were probably throwing secret signs behind his back all along. But why would anyone want to set Duke up in the first place? Duke is one of those guys who built his empire from scratch. All hustle, no handouts. He was creating unique jewelry pieces for up-and-coming rappers. But
why would anyone set Duke up? Simple Duck was self-made. No shortcuts, no favors. He built his jewelry empire from scratch, designing custom pieces for upcoming rappers and even some big names.
So he takes
when he flew from Chicago to Houston, it wasn't for fun, it was business. And who called him down? None other than Boosie. Boosie told him he wanted to discuss some custom
He wasn't
designs.
just going there for fun and games. He went there on business. And guess who invited him over? None other than Boozy. Boozy claimed he wanted
this meeting would be his last. That same bag would later
$1 million duffel bag filled with his best designs, ready to talk business. But what he didn't know was that this trip would be his last. And that duffel bag filled with his precious designs. It would turn up in the most unexpected place. But first, let's talk about this.
Who finally exposed what everybody had been whispering. He said, plain and simple, if you get invited to a dice game in Houston, especially one run by Jay Prince, better stay far away. Chances are you'll leave broke, or you won't leave at all. According to Wack, that's exactly what happened to Duke. He walked right into their trap. These games are fixed from the jump.
The dice games are rigged. The rollers have been manipulated in such a way that only J. Prince Jr. or members of his Mob Ties crew can win. It's like a robbery operation under the guise of a fair match. The house always wins, and when they don't, that's when the mask slips. Someone had messed up the flow during the game and passed the loaded dice to Duke, so he just kept winning. And
right, who rotate the dice. Now these dice is loaded. Tell me it's a Wolf, Big Caprice, and watch this, and Little Cam are the loaded dice rotators, right? He said what? There was a situation that occurred that a certain jeweler around and got past the dice on accident and was hitting all them for a couple hundred. They got irritated about that. I ain't gonna go too far into that story because, right, boom. The only way they could get their money back was however money back. He said, but Lil Cam Wolf and Big
Duke wasn't just winning, he was documenting every second. He pulled out his phone, filming himself stacking cash and laughing like he owned the table. At first, it looked like normal flexing, but when those clips resurfaced, viewers noticed something Duke clearly missed. Side eyes, whispers, and hand signals in the background that looked anything but playful. And here's where the money trail gets ugly. Word is, J. Prince pockets nearly 30% off every game night. So when Duke broke their system, he didn't just embarrass them, he cut straight into their profits. Now watch this carefully. Duke posted more clips of the game, showing off his hot streak. But when people replayed them, they caught a chilling moment. Boosie leans back, flashes a signal to his nephew, and suddenly the whole energy
every game night hall. So when Duke broke the system, it didn't just ruin their game, it messed up.
Goes cold. One moment Duke was all smiles, tossing dice. The next, it felt like the party
posting
was
them
over.
to show off his winning
Minutes later,
streak.
Duke
But when
headed
people
to his
replayed
car.
those
No
same
security,
clips later,
no
they caught
entourage,
something Duke
just a man
himself
carrying
never
millions
noticed.
in cash and jewelry through a dark Houston parking lot. 1 second, he was celebrating his winnings. The next, gunshots echoed dot. And here's what doesn't add up. Why would Boosie, a millionaire who knew the risks,
right here.
invite Duke from out of town with no security, especially when Duke was carrying a $1 million duffel bag? Why didn't J. Prince Jr. provide protection for his own
After the game
high-stakes
ended,
event?
Duke was
But
walking back to his car. No security, no entourage, just a guy holding millions in jewelry and stacks of cash in a duffel bag, walking through a dark Houston parking lot. 1 minute, Duke was excited about his game winnings and
still on his neck. What kind of robber kills a man and leaves the jewelry untouched? And remember, these were the same chains Duke had proudly worn to Boosie's concert earlier that night. The real twist, that $1 million duffel bag was missing until it turned.
especially a guest that he knew was going to be hauling around millions worth of jewelry. And why didn't J. Prince Jr. have any security set up to make sure the people attending his dice game left untouched? But that was not even the most confusing part of all this. It was what police found out when they got to the scene that changed this tragedy into a full-blown conspiracy. So police arrive on the scene and they're told that Duke was ambushed by a gang of robbers. But when they
just like a nigga couldn't supply you with your needs, so you leave me like a cook. I said fuck.
Duke showed up flashing millions with no protection, and then Boosie turned around claiming they weren't close. Something about that doesn't line up. And when Boosie told the story, he didn't look calm or confident. He looked pale, shaken, like a man who had just seen a ghost, not someone with nothing to hide.
Hey, the internet, y'all got us all the way up. We met that dude, Duke the Jeweler, the night before. We was gambling. The next day, dude followed us to the concert. When we left out the concert, we under the garage. Dude went to his car by himself and walked down to the parking lot. That's when somebody tried to rob him and killed the dude. What the hell my 19-year-old cousin gonna try to rob and kill somebody? Bro, we getting money, man. We getting money. That ain't our stilo. As a boss, I ain't letting that go down like that, man. This dude finna make me a piece. So y'all need to kill that. That's bad low, man. Don't put us in nothing with no bad low. It's bad low, man. This shit bad low, man. Straight up, this shit bad low. Kill it.
By this point, nobody believed a word coming out of Boosie's mouth. The more he talked, the more desperate he looked, like a man scrambling to cover his tracks. When his interviews and clips started making the rounds online, the comments section went wild. One viral comment nailed it. Boosie knew Duke's every move before and after like he was watching him the whole time. That hit hard because it echoed exactly what everyone else was thinking. It got so suspicious the feds had to step in, and that's when things got serious. Boosie was already on their radar for separate gun charges.
And when you come out here, are you shooting a film right now? What are you doing now?
Guys he thought were his friends who were probably throwing secret signs behind his back all along. But why would anyone want to set Duke up in the first place? Duke is one of those guys who built his empire from scratch. All hustle, no handouts. He was creating unique jewelry pieces for up-and-coming rappers.
When you think you've beaten the system. Then the feds pulled Duke's rental car forensics. Fingerprints from Boosie's cousin and nephew turned up inside. Suddenly, that signal they shared at the dice game took on a chilling meaning. That was the moment Duke's fate was sealed. He just didn't know it yet. And then came the witness. They claimed they were outside smoking when they saw Duke heading to his car. Out of nowhere, Boosie's nephew
he wasn't just going there for fun and games. He went there on business. And guess who invited him over? None other than Boozy.
And just like that, Duke was gone. No robbery, no chain snatched.
$1 million duffel bag filled with his best designs, ready to talk business. But what he didn't know,
the feds went full throttle. They weren't just asking questions. They put Boosie's entire life under a microscope. His businesses, his emails, even his son. Nothing was off
every game night hall. So when Duke broke the system, it didn't just ruin their game. It messed up.
Feds close in. The streets have already turned on him.
Dice game on his phone, posting them to show off his winning streak. But when people replayed those same clips later, they caught something Duke himself never noticed.
He's constantly looking over his shoulder. But let's not forget, Boosie helped create this monster. Him, J. Prince, and Junior built the so-called check-in culture. Every rapper touching down in Houston has to pay up for protection or else risk getting robbed, ambushed, or worse. And the dice games. Their deadly dot just 2 weeks
after the game ended, Duke was walking back to his car. No security, no.
He didn't even make it to the parking lot. He was shot right there at the table. At some point, too many coincidences stop being coincidences. Man. All this bloodshed isn't just killing Boosie's records, wrecking his life. Brands don't want him. Business partners are freezing deals.
See, the dice games are rigged. The rollers have been manipulated in such a way that only J. Prince Jr. or members of his Mob Ties crew can win. It's like a robbery operation under the guise of a fair match. The house always wins, and when they don't, that's when the mask slips. Someone had messed up the flow during the game and passed the loaded dice to Duke, so he just kept winning and
So the next day, dude hit my partner like, man, y'all got the concert. Let us trail y'all, woo-de-woo. So dude went with us to the concert, and after I come off stage, everybody leaving. You know, we parked under the parking lot, under the arena where the celebrities parking and all that shit. He was in another car. He walked to his car. His car was outside the arena under where we was. It was on side the parking lot, so he had to walk to his car. And that's where the incident took place, when somebody, you know, tried to get him or whatever. But Vlad, bro, if anybody know me, bro, that ain't my stilo, bro. You know what I'm saying? That ain't how I get down, bro. Like, that ain't how none of my people get down. And that's just the bottom line. That's shit that we wouldn't do. And, you know, we was about it because obviously they were watching us. You know, obviously they were waiting for anybody to walk across that parking lot to them cars and get in them cars. So, you know, it could have been one of us, man. You know what I'm saying? But it's just that happened to that dude. You know, it just internet trying.
That clip went viral instantly because nobody was buying his story. The comments were full of people clowning him, saying, Boosie, hiding behind those shades because he can't even look Vlad in the eye.
This just like a closet.
He lied.
Like a Mr.
Folks are convinced he played a role, no matter how hard he denies it. At this point, public opinion has flipped completely against him. He can talk all he wants, but the streets don't believe him anymore. The feds are certain, and Boosie's just sitting there with those sunglasses on, silent like a man who knows the walls are closing in.